Football Live Show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and PF Radio. Check out our website at properfootball.co.uk.
Okay, so back to our normal time, folks. Sunday, 6 o'clock, Proper Football Live. Do us a favour, if you're watching, share. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't. But please share this podcast. We'd appreciate it. Well, last week it was only me because of technical issues that we had. And this week it's just me and Nigel. At least I've got someone to talk to. Hello, Nigel, and how you been?
Not that you need someone to talk to.
I don't know, mate. Listen, I struggled, man. I struggled with that on Tuesday. You're right, yeah.
I'm all right, yeah. Just fed up with going over to Stoke Hospital every day.
Is she still in hospital, your mum?
Yeah, I think she might be out either tomorrow or the day after. But car's like an autopilot when I'm going there.
Yeah. Well, folks, we've got a bit of a show lined up. We've got some subjects to talk about. We've got some great footage and whatnot from the FA Trophy, the FA Vase, which is proved to be quite interesting again. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. We also talk about this weekend's games and the different ups and downs. Shall we start with Brendan Rodgers? He's walked out. He's not been sacked, has he? He's walked.
I'm not sure. I thought they'd got rid of him.
I don't know whether it was sacked or not. If anyone's listening who knows that answer, please drop a comment on so we can see what we're talking about.
I think the fact that he'd lost 6 games in a row, they said he's very special to the club, but it's at a point where they had to change something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the loss to who was it? They lost to? No, they lost. No, they didn't. Get it right, Gal. Who did they lose? Oh, Palace, wasn't it? Of course. And they went 1-0 up. Palace have come back with Mr. Roy, 75-year young. That's 2 managers in the Premier League. He's gone, mate boy. I'm having a brain freeze here, ain't I? What's going on? What's his name? He's gone to Huddersfield. Both of them done really well. He's 74 and Roy's
Warnock.
Mr. Warnock. Brain freeze. Mr. Warnock, yeah. And what a cracking result Huddersfield had. Smashing in for Middlesbrough. It just shows you can never be too old, can you? You know, Nigel, maybe you'll get back into playing football. They could do you down at Watford. They are. Anyway, folks. So, yeah, Brendan Rodgers is gone. I'm not sure whether he's pushed, whether he's walked, sacked, got out before he did get sacked or whatever he's done. But he's gone. Not sure what that means for Leicester because they are precariously not looking too great, are they, mate?
No, and either Everton at the moment, they're right down there. I mean, he's achieved so much at Leicester, but it's like to say, everything about managing a football club now is about results. They don't give you much time. Once you've had a bit of a bad spell, it's out with the old and in with the new.
I mean, we'll touch on the Premier League now, and then we'll get the Premier League out of the way. Let's get it out of the way and talk about proper football. But it's mad. It is actually mad. I mean, like from Palace down, 12th place down, it could be anyone who goes down. Although Southampton looking pretty much, although they're still in the chase. Leicester sitting in 19th now. So in a very Everton back in the drop zone, Leeds just hanging above it. But none of them are safe. It's, what is it? Let me see, 30. So we've got Southampton at the bottom on 23 points, Palace in 12th place on 30 points. That win yesterday probably done Palace the world of good.
I think they've got to play virtually all the teams below them on the running though.
I can't see. I mean, I wouldn't like to put money on any of them. Who knows? who knows? At the top, no change really going on there. So yeah, Arsenal and Man City both getting big wins yesterday. So yeah, it's let's have a quick gander.
What the hell's happening at Liverpool?
By the way, Newcastle won up Man United. Oh God, yeah. Newcastle won up at Man United. So that I think would probably pop Newcastle into fourth spot over Spurs as well. And they've still got a couple of games in hand over Spurs.
Do you think there's going to come a point where Klopp's under pressure? He's had a few bad results, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah, I mean, they got proper sort of lesson at Man City yesterday, didn't they? Let's be honest.
That's about Haaland.
Yeah, you know, they really did get a proper spanking. And they went 1-0 up.
They've had a 4-1 against Man City. They've had the 6-0. I don't know. They've had a few bad results, haven't they?
Very. Yeah, I mean, we'll come back to what we said right at the very beginning of the season. We said that this was going to be a two-horse race, Man City, Liverpool. Man City, yeah, as we thought, are in the race. We never thought Arsenal would be where they are, but they are. And yeah, it's and Arsenal looking very strong for taking the title, really. But Man City's still looking really, really dangerous. But Liverpool, it's a shame because tonight we were supposed to. He's going to come on next week now, by the way. So Paul Smith from Clobber Magazine, and I'm sure he's a Liverpool supporter, or he's a Man United supporter living in Liverpool. One of the two, and I'm sure he'll have some. He's got plenty to say about the northwest side of things. So that's a shame he's not on today, but we'll have him on next week, and I'm sure we'll get something out of there. Let's just say hello, Sonia. Hello, how are you doing? Watford Ladies 152. Alex Langley, hello again, regular on the show, mate. Take it from me, the way the season is going, Leicester will win on Tuesday. Villa have had a great record against them, so it's odds on with Villa doing what Villa do, will lose. Alex Langley again. Liverpool have not got the finances. Okay, yeah. As such as I dislike Klopp, he has done incredible overall at Liverpool. I hear what you're saying, mate. Yeah, they don't spend the money like the others, do they? In all fairness, you don't see them splashing out like Man City and that. But yeah, probably good point. But with all this talk about different clubs being bought out this year, Liverpool obviously one of them that's been discussed. Maybe they'll get the finances, and we'll have to. Not that I agree with it, as you all know, but hey, we'll see. Okay, let's move slightly away from that. Let's talk about quickly. Now, we didn't have the chance to talk about this, but last week me and Nigel popped down to Colton Town. Just want to say a big thank you to them. Nigel did a great Q&A down there. It was a great day out, actually, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Like I say, it was nice getting back to grassroots, and they did look after us really well down there.
Nigel signing photographs. Been a while since you've done that, mate.
Yeah, it was probably about the first time I've had both sides supporting me.
Yeah, it was great. The Stockton fans were fantastic as well. And look, this is the programme. And look, Nigel's got a write up in the programme. Well, hang on, go that way, innit? Yeah, there you go. Look, Nigel's little write up. Get that right in the programme there. No, it was a really good day. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And a great day overall, non-league football day out. And yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you very much, Colton Town. As always, and we'll get Mick on towards the end of the season. Hopefully they're going to stay up, and hopefully Stockton will win their playoffs. They're looking strong.
I'll tell you what, it was nice being able to stand outside and watch the match with a pint in your hand.
I think it's one of the points that we've made in a number of occasions. Yeah, and that was one point. I mean, we were doing an interview with Johnny Owen from TalkSport, and that's what he said about it. It's lovely to just be able to have a pint and, you know, watch the game. But yeah, no, fantastic day out. As well from last week, got to have a mention for Scotland getting a 2-0 win against Spain. Rodriguez was it that was saying that they were rubbish. Well, if they were that rubbish, mate, how did you lose 2-0? Because he said they roughed them up. Nigel, I know you love all this. You know, this is the pansy players, isn't it, of today. Well, didn't like the way they were being a bit hard. They were being a bit rough. Come on, mate. If you can't beat them, then you can't knock them. What do you think?
I think that's the reason why some of the players like Messi didn't want to come over to the Premier when it first, got going, because the referees weren't as quick to get a red card out as they are these days. But yeah, it's just getting into them, isn't it? Like intimidating them, and that's what Scotland done. They took the game to them, and I don't think Spain liked it.
No, definitely didn't. And but yeah, we had to have a mention of that one. But you're
going to get a battle if you when your top teams go to your bottom of the league teams. You ain't going there for a day out. They're going to be fighting for their lives, So you're always going to get a battle against the so-called smaller teams.
Yeah.
So is that down to the manager? He picked the wrong side. When I played for Watford and we played Tottenham, and they had Hoddle, they had our dealers, all like that. We always used to beat them.
Yeah.
One of the only times we lost to Tottenham was when Hoddle was injured, our dealers was injured. They brought in some of the reserves who wanted to scrap, and they took the game to us. And maybe it was the manager's fault for the team selection.
Maybe, but fair play to Scotland. We couldn't go without mentioning that. A great 2-0 win over Spain last week. So let's just have a little look. Let's have a little wander down to non-league. And I'll tell you why we're going to do that is because we had a few cup games this weekend. It was the semi-finals of the FA. I've got a bloody helicopter going over already. I don't know if you can hear that. You hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear it? Bloody thing. Anyway, so we had the semi-finals of the FA Trophy and the FA Vars. Now, here's the interesting thing. I've got a little video to show, by the way. But one of the really interesting things about what's happened this year, we took a look at the and we showed the penalties in the quarterfinals of the FA Vars. And in the quarterfinals, every game was decided on penalties, which obviously is very unusual. Well, it's carried on. And this time the FA Trophy got involved as well. So in both sets of semi-finals, in both cups this weekend, all ending in penalties. Absolutely mad. Just mentioning the FA, another one now. It's the same one. They're looking for criminals. It's a police helicopter over my head, isn't it? They're looking for me. I'm here. Right, okay, folks. Look, we're going to play a little video now. Just to mention about Newport Pagnell. Newport Pagnell were last year's winners of the FA Vars at Wembley. And as you'll see in the video, they've got there again, which is a bit of a feat to get there twice on the trot. An unbelievable feat for a little club. So let me pop this video up. And this is all about the FA Vars and the FA Trophy this weekend.
We're going to Wembley.
Cool. So, isn't it great to see non-league football in healthy position? Absolutely great, just for people to understand that as well. So the FA Trophy is for the higher non-league, so National League and the like, and the FA Vase is for the lower end of the National League pyramid. But congratulations to all the teams involved, and they've all earned themselves a great trip out. Great to see the amount of fans out for these cup games, and it just shows you that non-league football's in a really healthy position, Nigel, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the divide of how much it actually costs you to go to a Premiership match or Championship match these days has has worked a little bit in favour of the non-league clubs because, you know, like I said, we went and watched Carlton. It was great. Stood outside, burger in your hand, pint in your hand, watched the match, and they had good sport there. So it's healthy for the non-league at the moment.
Yeah, it is without a doubt, and yeah, we'll touch a bit more on non-league football when we go into the results. But just to let you know as well, today down there, we had the, I don't know, what's it called now, the Freight Paint Rover Milk whatever cup they play in for leagues 1 and 2. Anyway, it was the final at Wembley today in front of over 70,000 fans, and it was Bolton 4, Plymouth 0. Which a bit of a shock result, that Plymouth flying, but Bolton getting a 4-0 win at Wembley in front of over 70,000 fans. So fair play. Again, lower league football there, showing it's in a healthy place as well. So congratulations to Bolton Wanderers. Well done. And that was good. Also, just a quick one on that. Oh, no, I'll cover it off when we do the... I'll tell you what I want to do, Nigel, if it's all right with you. Go into the results. I've got a few subjects to bring up, but I'll bring them up as we run through some of the results. We've sort of covered off the Premier League, so let's jump into. Oh, by the way, let me just. Oh wow! Newcastle 2, Man United 0, and it's into the second minute of stoppage time. Nigel, that's a big result for Newcastle, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive statement. That will put Newcastle, I'm sure, in a 4th spot. I'll double check that in a little while. But let's have a little rundown. We'll pull out some of, 2-0. Let's pull out a couple of results that are interesting. So in the Championship, Friday night, Burnley drawing with Sunderland. Although they're still leagues ahead from everything. Obviously, big derby there. Luton beating Watford 2-0. Bit of a joke in that. I've got to say this, Nigel. I know you're feeling, but this shows you how out of touch some of these clubs are with their fans, right? So, I'm a Watford fan, as you probably, most of you know. The way they've treated the fans over this derby day is ridiculous. Now, I know the derby day does create a volatile atmosphere. So Watford fans were forced to the only way you could go as an away supporter to the game was you had to go by coach. And the club charged them all £15, had to pay it. You want to go? You pay £15 to go a 20-mile journey up the road in a coach. Disgraceful. And then, just the cherry on the cake, they sent them for two of the coaches anyway in Harry Potter buses. What? Oh, I don't know what you want to say about Watford, mate. They're in a mess. They're in a mess.
The amount of managers they've sacked, Watford, and the compensation packages they had to give these managers, they could have paid for them buses for the fans.
It's a disgrace that they've made them pay. That club should hang their head.
Well, why didn't the Pozzos get the money out and say, you know what, we'll put you on the coaches, but we're going to pay for them?
Yeah,
that's where, again, I keep saying that the family club's gone out of Watford. It ain't a family club no more. It's just a business.
Absolutely.
That would have been a good gesture for them to make to the club, to the fans, after the way they've run the club this year, to be honest.
Yeah, no. Less said about it, the better. I think. Like many clubs.
I bet he had a pint or two after the match, Edwards.
Oh, mate, yeah. I mean, how embarrassing is that? You know what I mean? It's like, really? Sack your manager and then he goes and does that to you. And Luton looking strong, mate.
Well, like I
They're
said,
chasing Sheffield United down.
yeah, but all the results at the weekend went for them as well.
Yeah,
Middlesbrough got beat. Norwich got beat. Luton, they beat Watford. Millwall drew, I think.
yeah.
Blackburn lose at Birmingham.
Not at Burnley, no. They lost
No,
at Birmingham,
no,
which,
Birmingham.
again, well done, Birmingham. That was,
That's
that
what I
was a
just
big
said.
result
Birmingham.
for Birmingham, there was
Coventry got
some.
beat.
Yeah, there was some big derbies over the weekend. You had the Blackpool Preston derby ending 3-1 to Preston. You had the South Wales derby, Cardiff 2, Swansea 3. So they're all big derby games. Sheffield United getting a good result at Norwich, though, 1-0, to really keep their spot of automatic promotion in place. Stoke City getting a great win at Coventry 4-0. That's worth a mention. Moving down into the League One situation, some big results down there. Two massive scorelines. Barnsley 5, Morecambe 0. Charlton 6, Shrewsbury Town 0. Both them clubs pushing in the playoffs quite hard, to be fair. Not Charlton, but 6-0 Charlton. Barnsley pushing hard, getting that 5-0 win, but worth the mention for Charlton 6-0. Derby losing to Ipswich. Ipswich pushing hard in the playoffs. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday and Plymouth. Obviously, Plymouth in with the final day at Wembley. Pushing hard out there for the automatics. Ipswich beat Derby, mate. They've fallen out of the playoffs. What's happening there, mate?
Yeah, they're having a bad run, Derby. I think they've lost about 4 in a row, haven't they?
Yeah.
But, I know the manager was saying that he was hoping they'd beat Ipswich because they normally sort of play better when they play the big clubs. But, yeah, I think they're going to struggle with getting the playoffs now, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because other clubs are in form at the right time. I think that's the problem. Sheffield Wednesday, though, losing 2 points at home to Lincoln with a 1-1 draw. So that put that one in place. Down into League Two, Northampton doing well. Leyton Orient out there on top. Great win over Carlisle, 1-0. Carlisle, on the other side, really pushing hard in the playoffs in that league as well. So a great win for Leyton Orient. Northampton getting a 1-1 draw against Stevenage, another side in the playoff fight there as well. But Northampton just holding on to that second spot in that league. Hartlepool getting a 2-1 win at Swindon in their fight not to go back down into non-league, although looking curious for them. I want to move into the National League, but bear with me a second because I just want to bring some out. There we are. Right, okay. So I'm going to have my normal money and football rant over this. No, but some results out there. Boreham Wood getting a 4-0 win at Maidstone, putting Maidstone down. I think that's Maidstone relegated, so they'll go back into National League South next season. So they've had a little run up there. Great little club, Maidstone. Shame for them. That's happened. Bromley getting a good 4-0 win against Solihull Moors and an emphatic win over poor old with the greatest chairman in the world, bless him. They got a 5-1 win, Wrexham. Now, before I carry on, Nigel, I just want to bring this up. This is something that came out this week. Obviously, it's end of year for most businesses, and they have published some of the finances at Wrexham. And I think it tells a story about football. Now, bearing in mind, Wrexham are probably the wealthiest non-league club out there, alongside maybe a couple of others. But obviously, Ryan Reynolds and Rob, however you pronounce it, these two Hollywood lads, anyway, obviously, buying into Wrexham. So some figures have come out, and I think it's really interesting. And I think it's a story of football in general, really, anyway. But anyway, so they brought close to £6 million in the space of a year into the club. The club still will finish, even though the two guys have ploughed £6 million into the club. on top of whatever revenue the club makes, they will still come away with a £2.9 million loss. So just a breakdown on that. And the reason I'm doing this, because I think this is a story about football, not just Wrexham. I think people have got to start realising, no matter what your club, where you are, bottom to top, football is on a slippery slope, people. And people got to wake up to this, because this is the same story at the top clubs. Chelsea, Man City, they're all in the same boat. But these facts here are, so they managed to recoup a staggering £5.9 million, a 404% increase compared to the previous 12 months. But the rising football costs, so you know what I'm on about here, players' wages. This is one of the biggest problems in football, right? So 3.9, almost £4 million has gone up in their budget for football, which you know damn well 90% of that will be player wages. So even though they had a staggering amount of extra revenue coming in, because half of America probably bought a Wrexham top, so they've had a staggering £5.9 million increase in their revenue, £6 million investment, and yet they still have a £2.9 million loss. There's something wrong in football, and football's on a slippery slope, and something's got to give somewhere. I know we go on about this, but these are facts and figures.
I was just going to say what Alex Langley's just put up there. On top of the football, on top of the players' wages, you've got the agents as well. They're going to have their cut out of the fees and whatever. Yeah, it's just you're not just dealing with one person when you sign a player now, are you? It's the agents, it's everything else that comes with it.
Yeah. I just don't know. I mean, I might have.
I've hit 100 points, by the way. Did you notice that?
Oh, they have. Yeah, they've hit 100 points and
not counting on 97.
Not counting on 97. Yeah, phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. The money that the lads have brought in have totally regenerated the club. But this is not about Wrexham, in my view. This is about football. You know, again, you only got to look at the Abramovich situation at Chelsea. What was it? He put into the club £2 billion. He had to put into that club to get it where it was. You know, at what point is football going to realise that they cannot keep? And all we hear all week, again this week, Rashford's going to get a £300,000 deal. Saka's going to get £300,000 a week deal. You know, they're still ramming these players' wages up and up and up.
You're talking more than 500,000 a week.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is it. You know, so where does it stop? You know, where on earth does it stop? Because
listen, we already said about the fact that Haaland's agent reckons he'll be the first £1 million a week player.
Yeah.
So, it's them sort of them wages don't seem to matter to the agents and the footballers. I think that's expected now, isn't it? And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And the expectation goes all the way down the leagues, even into the tier 5 clubs. You know, like they've got players there at certain clubs that are wanting more money than they're worth. Yeah,
like you say, like Alex is saying, the payment to agents is staggering. Ian Shane there, thanks for contributing, mate. That by the grand out of that 2.9 million loss. But I'll be honest, Ian, next year, do you really think they'll be showing a profit? Mate, well, I don't know, because all you're going to see is players' wages and agent costs going up. And this isn't about Wrexham, by the way. This is about football. This is happening at the top clubs. Man City, they run at a loss. No club in this country, well, there might be a few well-run clubs, to be fair. They're the ones where the fans all moan. You know, they'll all moan about, oh, they don't spend money, no profit for a while. But, Ian, in all fairness, mate, look at the big clubs. None of them are profitable. You know, unless you've got your sugar daddy, and no disrespect to Ryan Reynolds, fantastic what they're doing. Absolutely fantastic. It really is. But I don't think they're they're going to compete with the big boys when it comes to money. You know, in all fairness, unless they get some big investment coming in, you know. But like I say, without the sugar daddies, clubs are running at a loss. They're reliant on the people owning the club to keep funding it, and this is because you know, nearly every club has got that level of income, and their outcomes are there. And the only way they do that is by having a Sheikh Ahmed or whatever, or some American going, yeah, we'll stick £1 billion in. You know, it's only my view, by the way. It's, you know, this is my view of how I see football. Is in my view, something has to give sooner or later, and a lot of the problem is now to player wages. But look, that was the first financial information that's come out of football, so that's why I picked on Wrexham. But no taking away from the job they've done.
Pictures on there, tailor-made army TV. Mbappe already earns $1 million a week.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, what's he do with $1 million a week? Yeah, sort of say to the missus, come on, should we get a yacht or a house again?
It's replicated in non-league football as well. You've got many clubs who can't afford to go up in leagues because they can't compete with the rich boys in a league. So it's an extremely sort of unlevel playing field. But I don't know. Like I say, I look at it very negatively. I'll be honest, and I appreciate I am quite negative about it. I dread to think what we will be talking about in 2 or 3 years' time. It will be interesting. Surely the player wage structure has to be controlled at some point. Like you say, I mean, clubs can't afford it. As simple as that. Don't matter who they are, unless they're owned by a state in you know, an Arab state or an American multi-billionaire, you know. But anyway, there you go. Okay, so let's touch back on to just quickly. Let's have a quick look at National League North. I can't pronounce that team. They're at top. AFC Flied. How do you pronounce that, Nigel? You know, I can't pronounce.
I've not even had a look at it.
They must hate me. If anyone watches it, I do apologise. I don't mean to not know how to pronounce that, but it's the one club in really every time. And the thing is, they're doing so well, and they got a great 3-0 win over Brackley to really keep their top spot there. Telford going down 1-0 Peterborough. Sports, which is really their bottom of the league, so things not looking great for them. What else have we got out in that one? Obviously, Kings Lynn on the money side, they got a 1-0 win over Chorley just to keep the pressure up on our friends.
Filed, isn't it? Filed? Yeah.
And Chester also in the mix up there at the top, getting a 2-1 win at Darlington. Quick run into the National League. A lot of matches postponed because of waterlogged pitches, which obviously means the weather forecast for yesterday was lots of rain in the south and not in the north. So loads of games postponed down in National League South because of waterlogged pitches. Ebbsfleet pretty much got that sewn up if they've not already been promoted. Not sure if they played. Yes, they did. They got a 1-0 win down in Taunton. They got 94 points. Nearest to them is Dartford. Although Dartford have got a couple of games now, they've only got 73 points. So pretty much sewn up there. Dartford getting a great 4-0 win over Dulwich Hamwich. Ham Sandwich, who are struggling down at near the bottom there. Poor old Weymouth losing at home to Eastbourne 1-0. They're looking curious. They're going to drop down another thing. And just touching again on the FA Trophy final, which I showed the videos of earlier. Altrincham drawing 1-1 with Halifax, and then Halifax winning 3-2 on penalties. Gateshead. Now, we'll say that the Gateshead one we showed you. Gateshead won 4-1 on penalties. But, you know, Gateshead were actually 3-0 up. Barnet actually came back to make it 3-0 and push it in the penalties. So fair play to Barnet in that. And unfortunately, the BBC doesn't go any lower than that. But we know both Ascot and Newport Pagnell have made it to the FA Vase final. Shame on you, BBC, for not putting that result on your list. Shame on you. Right, okay. So we've touched on that. The other one I want to touch on, Nigel, get your opinion on this, and anyone else would like to have their opinion on this next subject, is when I find it. There we go. So this week, DAZN, who obviously big in the old boxing, AJ getting his name around now as he's signed into DAZN, getting his points win last night. But the EFL are looking to do a deal with DAZN, which would mean that the 3 o'clock blackout will be scrapped. Well, that ain't a bad thing, is it? I mean, as we put on a post we put up, you know, you're not allowed to live screen anything at 3 o'clock. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But will it affect crowds, Nigel? If every game in the EFL is live on the telly at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, this is what we're talking about, is that going to have an adverse effect on the gates? What do you think?
Oh, it's a difficult one, really, isn't it? It depends what the companies are charging to watch it on the TV, and how big the difference is in paying for a ticket and going to the match. So I think like when they're talking about going to a match on Saturday, I mean, like, you're not just talking about tickets to get in, you're talking about transport there, you're talking about drinks, food, so it becomes an expensive day out. So maybe the way things are going with the economy, it might be that people say, do you know what, 18 cans of lager from Asda for 10 quid or whatever.
How many?
18 for about 12 quid, something like that. So I might think I'll just stay and watch the game in my comfort. I think it's the gap, if you're getting charged, say, like 5-10 quid to watch a match at home live, and you're paying nearly up to 50 quid with a package to go to a live match. If you can't afford it, then it probably won't start affecting the.
I think one of the worries that was raised was the non-league scene as well. Will it encourage fans not to go watching their non-league clubs if they can sit at home and watch any EFL club at 3 o'clock on a Saturday? So, and I think that's why. I mean, people say when I said, really, should we have this? There's a reason why there is a blackout on 3 o'clock kickoffs. It was to encourage people to attend the games.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At the same time, people have got a choice, Gary. You can't force people into wanting to go to the match. In this day and age, especially now, the finances, everything's gone up. People are struggling cash. They're going to be looking for the cheapest way to watch the match.
Yeah.
Not unless you're flush with money and you've got a season ticket and it's great going to a live match. But if people are getting pushed into a point where they're having to cut corners and save pennies, then they're going to look at the cheapest way they can watch the football match.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think these companies they don't care about the situation of people. They just want to make their money.
Yeah, it's going to be one to watch. I mean, obviously, that the point here is I think potentially as well, is this an attempt to push the Premier League into upping their amount of money? I think they've offered an X amount of money more or X amount, but the EFL want that amount. But this will also detach them from Sky.
I think
there's quite a lot of conflicting things.
I think it's going to affect the away matches. It's going to affect the away support more than the home support.
Now I've heard that point. So that's a real I heard that point mentioned. Yeah, actually, I think people
to go away to away matches cost quite a bit. So I think I don't think it's going to affect the home crowd too much, but definitely if you're struggling and you can watch it on the TV in a pub somewhere.
Yeah. Can you imagine though? Here's one dilemma I'll put to you. People, get involved with the conversation here, please, if you can. It is a dilemma, right? I can see happening, right? You got your pub, right, in some town where there's fans of everyone. Yeah, you've got one big telly on the wall. Who's going to get to watch what game? It's going to end in riots in pubs, isn't it? I want that game on. You ain't having that game on. Can you? Can you know what I mean? You've got a choice of, I don't know, 50
Yeah,
games in
with
a pub.
with the pubs though, they put on the blackboards outside. They put on the posters
Which
what
one
games
they're
going
going
to
to
be
show?
shown.
Yeah,
So people aren't going to walk into that pub expecting to see a side if it's not advertised.
yeah.
Fans do they do actually ring around pubs and find out if they're going to be showing a
Oh
game.
yeah. They do. They definitely do. But yeah. It's definitely going to be, well, obviously it's to get more money to move into the pyramid. So from that point of view, we can't moan. We moan about there needing to be more money to go down into the pyramid of football. This is an opportunity maybe for that to happen, so we can't moan about that. How will that all pan out? How will it affect the relationship between the EFL and Sky, the EFL, and will it mean no more EFL on? So many questions, but excuse me, sorry people, we will keep on top of that and keep an eye on it and see how it goes. Let's just check on the league table after the Newcastle result. Let's see. So it's definitely confirmed 2-0 to Newcastle. And oh, wow, that puts actually, I was wrong. Newcastle up to third. Obviously, got a huge difference in. Look, you see that goal difference between Newcastle and Man United. Newcastle got a goal difference of 22, Man United 4. Have you ever seen a side in the top 4 of any league with a goal difference of 4? What the? Have you ever seen that before?
No.
I mean, they've only got a goal difference of 4, yet they're fourth in the. That's some mad stat, that, isn't it? Shows you they're not winning by many goals, Man United.
I was listening to Talk Sport on the way back today, and they were on about the Brentford-Brighton match. And they said it was one of the most, if you look at the statistics, it's one of the most mismatched results out. They said something like Brighton had something like 32 shots on goal to Brentford's 9, and Brentford only had about 4 or 5 shots on target, and they scored 3 times.
Wow.
And Brighton had about 32 shots, about 16 on target. So you have a look at the stats, mate. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and Brighton and Brentford there, look at them in 6th and 7th place, doing really, really well. And very reachable that Brighton will, if they win their games in hand, they'll take 5th off Tottenham as well. But Newcastle there in 3rd place. Is it a good place to finish down? I don't think I've got much more to cover. Nigel, have you got anything you'd like to bring up?
No, not really, mate. Like I said, I've been pretty busy with my mum this week. So
I've been busy. Landed myself a new contract, which is going to see me travelling to Northern Ireland a couple of times a week. So that's going to keep me busy. But
what happened last time you went to Northern Ireland?
Yeah. So we got one here. Callie replying to Alex Langley. Callie, football has changed so much at the top, with teams playing out from the back, looking for the 1 or 2 breaks. Yeah,
I mean, I can't get my head around this passing the ball inside their own 18-yard box when they, like the short pass to the keeper and all that lot. And it's the tactics have changed so much now, haven't they?
Oh yeah, it's a totally different game now, isn't it? And maybe this is why I'm negative, because I'm a dinosaur. And I preferred it as it was. Alex, out of interest, mate, what do you think? Do you like the modern football, or you prefer going back a bit in time and the way football used to be played, out of interest? What's your opinion on that, mate? We'll see if he'll reply quick enough, because I think we've come to the end. Just to say this, actually, while we just give Alex an opportunity to get his opinion on that, is Dan's running another card for defibrillator. As you can see, there's still quite a few teams available there. Just jump onto our social medias or go to our website, along the bottom there, properfootball.co.uk. £125 goes to the winner. It's £5 a team, and £125 goes into the fund. We currently are up to about £300. This would make it up to £400. The wonderful thing is we've been offered by London Defibrillator. They make defibrillators or they supply defibrillators that they will match what we raise, and this will go to grassroots sport, football, or a sport where kids are involved, where a grassroots operation, maybe where, I don't know, we've got Sunday league football happening, whatever, some organisation. But there is an organisation out there which I'm going to get in touch with as well, called Grassroots Defibrillator, Grassroots Deflab, I think they're called. Again, trying to make sure that all grassroots organisations have defibrillators on site. We will be getting in touch with them, and hopefully between us, them, and London Defibrillators, we will be able to get a defibrillator in place at a grassroots organisation. So please jump on social media or website for more information on how to purchase a team, or just go to GoFundMe. Again, on all the social platforms, go to GoFundMe. I don't think I've got the up on here, but yeah, go to the GoFundMe page if you want to just donate towards that. It's a great cause. There we go. Just going to pop that up along the bottom there. There you go. Defibrillator Fund. And like I say, we are in cahoots with London Defibrillator, who provide defibrillators, and we are going to get in touch hopefully very shortly with Grassroots Defab, who look to provide grassroots organisations with defibrillators. So yeah, please get a team, potentially win £125, or just put some money in the GoFundMe, and we will keep you fully informed of when we do provide a defibrillator. So that's great. Let's just quickly go back to chat. Alex, yeah. Emery is an expert. Oh, hang on. Let's reply. Sorry, mate. No clubs will start working it out. A lot of ex-pros like Cali raise issues with it. So, yeah. So, obviously, what Alex is saying, he's obviously hearing from a lot of ex-pros raising the issue of the style of football being played. Emery is the expert at this tactic, but it hasn't worked so well against top teams like City and Liverpool, who high press themselves. Last comments from you on that then, Nige?
Yeah, I think it has changed a lot. I mean, City do exactly what we was told to do when I played for Watford. Graham Taylor used to get games analysed. 30% of the goals that a team scored were scored by winning the ball back in the final third. So, like, when we lost it up in their final third of the pitch, winning the ball back in the final third, 30% of our goals came from that. So I can see why, City do press. They're straight on you, and same with Liverpool on the other side. And I think, like, the way they try and play it out the back at the moment, not unless you're really good at it and confident and the team's playing well, that's a risky thing to do. I don't like it myself. I mean, but Taylor used to say, we used to get called a bit of a kick and a rush side at Watford. We weren't a kick and rush side.
Yeah, that's right. He did a lot of it,
He said, why is it that when teams are losing 1-0 or they're 1-1 and they've got 1 minute to go of the game, why is it they get the ball quickly up front as quick as they can? Because that's the quickest way of scoring. So if that's the quickest way of scoring, why don't you do it from the first minute? And that's what he used to say. Well, if they think that's the quickest way of scoring, why don't you do it from the first minute?
And that's what the fans want. They want you to score. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. Wow, we're just under the hour today, Nige. That's what happens when there's only two of us, I suppose. Thank you for everyone who's watched the show and everyone who will be watching the show, obviously, later on. Thank you for everyone who's got involved. Alex, Ian, who else has been involved there? Sonia. Pidge. Thank you for getting involved with that. And Pidge, thank you. Was you on one of the Harry Potter buses? I can't believe that. I can't. Honestly, how bloody embarrassing. Another club out of touch with its fans. I hope you've enjoyed the show. And join us again next week. Ian Smith from Clobber Magazine coming on. And I know he'll have an awful lot to say as well. and we'll talk a little bit about Clobber Magazine with him as well and see what it's all about. Been great. Thank you, Nigel, for your time. Hope it all goes well with your mum this week.
Yeah, she's. I think still expecting to get her back home in a couple of days, so I should be happy about that.
Yeah. As always, people, have a safe week, and join us again. But always keep an eye on our website and all our social media for all the updates that we pop on them. And remember, like I say, the defibrillator, get a team on the card. We're very close now with the amalgamations with certain organisations to being able to provide a grassroots organisation with a defibrillator. And that's thanks to all your help and people buying football teams and donating money. Fantastic. That's it from me then, and Nigel. We'll see you all next Sunday. Goodbye, and please be safe. Oh, we've got to get it right. There we are.
The Proper Football Live Show, Sundays at 6 p.m. for your football fix on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and PF Radio. Check out our website at